All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pigeonhole Motorcycle Podcast. We're in season 5, and we're dirt tracking this motherfucker up. Flat tracking, dirt. We call it dirt tracking. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Flat
Call it.
track,
Oh
dirt
yeah.
track. There's a I don't know. There's a lot of discrepancy there.
Okay, we're dirty tracking things up with my new friend Jeffrey Carver, or formerly known as Jeffrey Carver Jr., and film producer Mac Daddy, director, editor Evan Senn. Fast and left. How you guys doing today?
Doing good, man.
Pretty
Enjoying
good.
it.
Cheers it up. I think we're gonna put this on the U of the
Cheers.
tube. So yeah, we're starting all right today. So guys, tell me where you're at.
I'm in Alton, Illinois. I've been down in Florida for about a month and home about a week ago. So kind of just hanging out, enjoying the springtime.
Nice.
And we are quarantined at home in Wichita, Kansas.
Mm, the Wichita. Okay, Jeffrey, how were you in Florida? What were you doing in Florida?
Well, I went up to Mama Tried for the Mama Tried Flat Out Friday weekend. Hung out with Evan the whole time and flew back to Florida because we were planning on after that event going and race in Atlanta and Charlotte. So I flew back down. All my stuff was down there anyways. All the quarantine thing was kicking in, so I didn't know what exactly to do. And went down there, grabbed my stuff, went to a campground, but it's like a music park actually, where they have like big music festivals. I've been there before and hung out there. There's probably like 50 people there on the property out of like 800 acres. So you could run into maybe one, two people and kind of everybody kept their distance. There was a beach to kind of hang out at on a river and just kind of chilled. So did that and then kind of come back home to get the springtime and kind of start settling in for the year with all this stuff going on. It's like I felt good and safe down there, but I knew I had to get back home.
Right.
So drove back and it's been chilling.
Nice. Now, how did you two guys meet?
We met in Oklahoma City Mile 2018.
Yeah.
So I had been my film was supposed to just be really about the Kansas racing, and once I found out about American Flat Track and especially how close it was being in Oklahoma that year, I had just discovered Sideburn magazine, and the first issue I got featured Jeffrey in this interview. And I just thought, hey, like I should try and see if I can film at an AFT race and see who's on board. And Jeffrey was like the first person I hit up and the first person that responded. So I kind of made a plan to do an interview with him and kind of feature him in most of that AFT footage. And then after that first interview, I kind of wanted to do more, make it look better, and talk about some more stuff. So later that year, we kind of tried even harder, and Jeffrey brought his leathers and stuff to the mile the day before a race and got to know each other more and more and more. And now fairly good buddies, I suppose.
Yep. Another good time.
All right, so I know, Evan, you said most of your stuff for the movie because Jeffrey's in the movie. You're in the movie, Jeffrey, aren't
Yep. Yeah, I helped out with a couple parts, and it's pretty cool to be a part of it.
you? Nice. Now, was that shot in Oklahoma, or did you shoot that in Kansas City?
So
Kansas City, Kansas. I'm off
um,
Kansas.
the interview in the film is at the Springfield Mile.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's shots from Lima, Ohio, which would be 2019, and then stuff from OKC that first time and talking and but yeah, there's a couple different places he's gotten, and the rest of it's probably Wichita and what Stockton I think are the other two.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
Colby.
yeah. A whole bunch of Kansas stuff. But yeah, the AFT stuff was Lima, Springfield. I think we shot like 3 different races there, and then Oklahoma. I wanted to go to more, but it was tough to travel that much for those races. So
Nice. Now, Jeffrey, you said you're in Illinois. We're both in Illinois. Where are you? Did you say Alton?
Yeah, so I'm right outside of St. Louis.
Okay.
I'm just north of St. Louis. The river bends down and around St. Louis and keeps heading south. So I'm just north of St. Louis, but on the Illinois side of the river. So about 5 hours ago, hour and a half from Springfield.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Now, for people that are listening, obviously that have heard of you and your racing, give us a little history of kind of your racing career so far, because you're obviously still a young man, but I know that you've had some highlights over the last couple of years. But tell us a little bit about your process in racing.
So I've been riding since I was 4. Grew up racing motocross and wood stuff until I was about 12, and swapped over to dirt track. Won my first amateur nationals on an 80 that year, which would have been like '02 or something, and won the Horizon Award, which is, most likely to succeed amateur in flat track in '07. Won the championship for Hot Shoe in '08. 2010 won the championship in the singles. Moved up to twins class, the premier class, 2011, and that's where I've been since. And have put every year since my rookie year and got 3 wins. And it's crazy to look back and see that I've been racing in the series for, almost 10 years now. I mean, in the series since '09, but, for the top class, it's pretty crazy. And it's just a ride for me. I have fun and I have goals that I set for myself. And luckily enough, I can also, make some type of money doing it as well to be able to pursue that dream. So it's kind of where I came from. I just kind of a small town kid, grew up racing motocross, growing up playing in the dirt, playing with your friends and riding skateboards around town and stuff like that. And just lucky to still be a kid, honestly, at a true grassroots of it. Honestly, feels good.
Nice. So I was watching a couple of the races. I think I was telling you before. Evan, you'd be so proud of me too that I'm watching races at home. I'm getting up on this. So I watched one of your big wins. I think I forget. Now forgive me because I don't know shit about shit. So you can forgive me about these things. But no, it was really cool because they were interviewing after one of your big races that it must have been to get into the next circuit or something you haven't won before, and the interviewer at the end asked you about your parents, and it was really cool to see, emotional that you could see that you're on such a high. That are your parents still around? Is it something that you're involved in?
Yeah, no, they definitely are. My parents are still kicking, doing their thing. Was Castle Rock. Been my first national I ever won, and national, yeah. So that was 2013. That was a big grand national. That was my first big race ever, and to go, I've done it with everybody my entire life. Everybody that it means something to has been somebody close to me, for me to achieve and get to a goal. And then whenever I won this race, I was literally up there with just my mechanics, which are good people. I'd only met them a year or two before that, and just to be up there and it just be it's been my dad's goal and dream as well, to just allowing me to have whatever I need to get to where I am, because the talent that I had. So for them to be able to see that stuff and everything, and it's just a family thing, that's what we did together. We raced motorcycles on the weekends. My parents cooked barbecue during the week and did, graphic design ads, and that's what we did. So it's always, to have, I think, with Springfield being my 3rd win, that being an hour and a half from home, having all my friends and family there, and being, technically almost the largest race in flat track, it's pretty cool. I know back in the 50s, if you won Springfield Mile, you were the Grand National champ for the year. Didn't matter if you won all the other races, you were the Grand National champ. So it's kind of a cool little deal, and then have my family there for it all.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And
Jeffrey's definitely a fan favorite of the sport, but seeing Springfield light up when he hops in front, it's pretty awesome.
I know all the people in the campground. I know all the locals. It's perfect.
Nice. And Evan, you were talking about that, I think, on your podcast that we did about Jeffrey's appeal to the crowd.
Yeah, you can definitely. Last year, he was trading first place with Jared back and forth, and every time he'd hop back up front, people would just lose it. A lot of wizard t-shirts, and then like, like Jeffrey said, like he hangs out in the campgrounds afterward, and he's not hard to find. Like you just kind of look for the tie-dye and chill people, and that's where Jeffrey is. And like little kids come up to him and ask for autographs, or he rides around on pit bikes and stuff, so he's just there chilling, which is like really, really cool to see how much he gives back to the culture, and just hangs and is just like a real person.
All right. That's super cool, man. That's pretty nice. You're only saying that because he's sitting right there.
Well, yeah, you next time when you go to Springfield, we'll take you to Carver country, and you'll have
That's what I was just about to say. I was just about to say, you come to Carver country, you'll get a good gist of it.
Okay,
it's crazy.
Explain this to me, because
Carver country. Hold on, I gotta plug my computer in. Hold on.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I have a picture of Jeffrey, like 2 different pictures from the same day. I don't know if I said this last time, but I have this picture with Jeffrey like all in his leathers, going like 120 miles an hour, tucked in, and then I have a picture of him a couple hours later, and he's wearing like a Camel Pro hat and holding somebody's pet chicken, and
I remember that.
Big smile on his face, and it's just like, that's Carver country. Like you got this guy at the top of the sport drinking beers and holding people's chickens, and
dude, that was cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay. So obviously I don't know. So when you guys say, "Oh, after the race you'll see him in the campground," like somebody set the scene for me, what it's like to be like the race, and then what happens after, like campground right there. How does this work? I have no idea.
So like Springfield's 1,000 acres of property. Maybe I'm way off on that. I don't know. It's huge. It's huge. There's a couple miles, it's probably 8 miles to drive around the outside of it.
Okay, so let me pause.
And it's permanent. It's there for the state fair.
Yeah.
So Springfield, Illinois, or Springfield, Missouri?
Springfield, Illinois.
Gotcha.
Yep. So that's where the biggest, it's just kind of like, it's like the Daytona 200 or 500 or whatever. That's where everybody goes. So then there's a campground inside of there. Most people come to Springfield because we race a Saturday night track pro singles race, and then we race on Sunday. There's also a race on Monday, an hour away, and then there's a race on Thursday for all the amateurs. So it's a big weekend for people that travel around the U.S. that are motorcycle enthusiasts, flat track enthusiasts. We all hang out there. So then, the race, obviously, it's dramatic, big, loud, And then afterwards, when the weekend's all over, everybody's kind of done. We have Monday off, usually, you know what I mean? Everybody's off work, so everybody can leave Monday during the day. And just a good hangout spot. You get to see people, and it's like, especially for me, it's like, I like to hang out and chill with people, and I talk to fans in the pits, but like I'm serious about my shit when it comes to race day. And I don't, right. Well, I'll talk to people here and there, but I'm there to do one thing, and that's to do my job and do the best I can. But then you get back to the campground, you get all these people, and people you'll see like only once a year, and hang out, and maybe have a cocktail around a fire with some people that don't have Instagram or Facebook, and you're just hanging out, enjoying it, or some of the younger kids taking a ride on the golf cart, going finding the secret slide that, security kicks you out of, but they really don't care that you're there. It's like, that's the cool things that go on at Springfield, and that's the fun of the sport. And, it's just like a huge festival week. And I'm real big on big events. Like, I like big events. I think it's good to get people together and hang out. Springfield's always one that I tell people to come to. And you come there, there's Carver's country, Carver Alley at the end of the fair, at the end of the campground. There's like a dog leg down at the end, and that's where we are. So we kind of hold it down there.
That's awesome. Actually, 5 of my cousins live in Springfield. So next time you're there,
well, you got to come in for Springfield. It'll be a doubleheader. I really don't know if it'll happen this year, but we'll have it at some point.
Yeah. So when are these? Yeah. So what's the whole race circuit like right now? Is everything just on hold?
I haven't heard a lick of anything. I haven't called many people. but obviously it's not even about the racing organization as what the state and the government wants to do. So I was just, right before we got on call, I was just watching when they're pushing another 30-day hold on Illinois for businesses opening.
They did?
They just did that just today, just like 5 minutes before we started up. I was watching a thing. So interesting, We'll see. For me, I'm trying to work on maybe doing some motorcycle online classes, possibly do some promo stuff to do some one-on-one classes with some people,
Right.
And do some things like that in the meantime. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's too bad you don't know like a guy that does like film stuff or something. Maybe you could have him like come and you guys could do something real creative like during this time. I
can't find anybody that's got that vibe that I'm looking for.
I don't know. It's a hard thing to do, man.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, you think about that, Evan.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. So, Evan, you got any projects that you're working on over this thing? You finish up editing? You got anything making some new contacts, or you just causing trouble with the wife?
I'm working on my e-racing and playing racing video games and watching movies. And I basically had one scene that I hadn't put into the film that I freshened up and put that out. It featured Travis Newbold kind of wrenching and racing in Stockton. But after that, that's really all the content. I had a couple projects that got shut down because of all this. So, no, not working on anything right now.
Dang. See? I'm feeling it. See? The Evan Jeffrey. You guys gotta get something going on.
We've been talking off and on. We're trying to brainstorm. I mean, some good time down. We got a lot of good fun stuff that's not out at all. We just we flow with it, and whenever it comes to us, we'll make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard now. I mean, there's some good opportunities, media-wise and things like that, but at the same time, it's just so hard to get anything else done unless you have everything like sitting in front of you. Otherwise, you can't.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, there's a local track here that, depending on how things open up, like how many people we can gather there, and it's open air, so that we could, that obviously helps. So I'm hoping once some things lighten up, then maybe bring the camera down to the track and do something. I mean,
yeah, we've been kind of hanging out. We got a riding facility, but you're not supposed to have more than 10 people. So we've been just having just a few people come down at a time. We're all riding and stuff a little bit, trying to have some fun. Been hitting a big metal freestyle ramp and doing some different things like that. Just trying to enjoy, I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying the downtime. I mean, I'd love to be racing, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I like the downtime. I like the world getting slowed down a little bit.
And I think we all need it a little bit too. That's for damn sure. What was I just going to ask you guys? Oh my God, total blank. Oh, tell me about you guys. Did you guys hung out in Milwaukee when? Okay, so the last post I saw before they canceled or postponed at Mama Tried, I think Jeffrey, you're out on the track like running on the Wednesday or Thursday night, and then saying, "Hey man, I'll see you guys here for Flat Out Friday," and then the next thing I knew, it was done.
That was that morning, wasn't it? I think that was that morning, and then 6 hours later, there's a post saying that wasn't happening.
Yep.
That was cool though. It was a good weekend, man. We Milwaukee always never fails to entertain, in my opinion, and I can never go there and not be entertained with the weekend, have a really good time. So once it got canceled, we everybody's texting, trying to figure out where to go, where to hang out. Everybody wants to do this outlaw hangout riding stuff, and we kind of get together because we know, obviously, I want to ride. He wants to tape some shit, so we kind of come up with some good, fun stuff. And we ended up having security at like a rock lot downtown, right down where we were going to be racing at. We told them, hey, we're doing some promo video stuff, and they let us in, and we hung out. Had a good time. There's a lot of little small events for the couple, 2-3 days going on, and just enjoyed it. And there's a lot to offer for the motorcycle community in Milwaukee, in my opinion. So it's kind of a cool town to have some time to kind of hang out. So it was good.
Now, had you Evan, this must have been a little bit of a bummer too, because your movie was going to be playing there all weekend, right?
Yeah, and we had planned on filming some new content of the races and kind of get some stuff for Jeffrey's new racing team. So and we found out. Can you still hear me, Honey Banana?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I hear you fine. I was just I was getting dehydrated, so I had to get some water.
Good for you.
Yeah, sometimes the Illinois water here is bad, so this is distilled a couple times. I'm sorry, I interrupted you there.
That's okay. No, so it's funny. We found out 6.5 hours into a 12-hour drive that it was canceled. And we thought, well, shit, like, we got to go up. We hear it's a good time. A lot of our friends are there, so we're going. So we didn't let that stop us, and we went, and I left my big, heavy video camera behind and just walked around with my stills cameras and just had fun and kind of wherever the wind blows. It was kind of a spring break vacation, really.
Yeah, well, hold on, I'm sorry, coming back.
Oh.
Okay, so you didn't bring your Mac Daddy camera over there? You brought the other one?
No, I did. I brought them both, but it was just like once I knew the races weren't happening, it's like,
oh yeah,
I don't know where we're gonna be, and kind of like even like hopping in this car and that car, and it was just kind of like drifter lifestyle. So I left that behind and just chilled. And thankfully, like, our hotel room was paid for and everything, and wasn't couldn't cancel it. So we thought, well, shit, we got to stay and just have fun. So yeah, it was a spring break, really.
We even had a sleepover one night.
Oh,
Twice. You're right. No, the one time I left at like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And then once slept in my hotel till about 11 or noon.
Yeah, basically up every night until 4 and sleep until noon and doing it all over again for like 5 days. It was real good for our livers.
I was going to say, sounds like a terrible time, guys. I'm sorry you didn't make the best of it.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Exactly. That's where like everybody was super bummed, and I'm like, fuck being bummed. We're all here. Like, okay, we can't race around in circles for whatever. Let's go race around circles in parking lots, or they had these boonie bike races all over town. So they have 8 races, Evan? Is that what it was?
Yeah, a whole bunch of them, yeah.
So they had 8 races throughout the weekend, and everybody had boonie bikes, and they rode them. That's like the little ones you get from Harbor Freight or whatever. They raced them through the bar, literally through the bar, in and out of them and around them. I raced one day. It was a good time. It was great. And like I said, Milwaukee never holds out.
And those guys, Scott and Warren and the whole team down there, did a great job, I think, of just finding some other shit for people to do and keeping things going.
Scott's great. I saw that you had done a podcast with him. He's one of my favorite people, like from what I've met over the last couple of years. And me and him went to Nepal and separately, but on the same trip. So it was kind of cool getting over there. And then I've been helping them with, we like brainstorming, we like each other. We feel like, I like his mindset. He likes mine. We kind of just get along. So he's a good guy. He's great for just a motorcycle crew in general,
Right. Okay. So let's jump to Nepal. Nepal sounds a little more exciting than Milwaukee. I'm sorry. Okay. How do you get to Nepal, and how do you get invited to, like, what's that all about?
Well, it's a tour agency with Veer that you did a podcast.
Yeah. What a great. Oh, you know Veer then.
I know Veer.
Awesome.
Really well. So
Awesome.
I hung out Veer for 10 days when we were overseas. We went over. Okay. So it all happened. Like I've been trying to get to Nepal. I'm big into like at least being open to the religions over there and stuff. And so I thought Nepal would be great. I've always kind of wanted to go there. And this opportunity come up with Cyber Magazine, and to go over there and kind of go be a part of it. And so I went with them. We flew over, and they supplied the stays, the bikes, and gave us a route with a pace truck and 2 riders, sometimes 3 riders that were helping with the, just kind of like showing us, which was Veer, and his buddies. So super cool, man. Just the culture over there is totally different. The horn is used for like courtesy, like, hey man, I'm trying to pass this car going uphill in the left lane, and I'm going to honk my horn when I come over the hill, and you're going to slow back down and get back in line. or we're going to hit each other, but there's no health insurance, like stuff like that. And then you get your way, and like, dude, I'm telling you, these city streets were great. Like, I felt like I was like Grand Theft Auto or something. Like I was like, really, you're letting the rabbit run right now? Like, I did some crazy shit in them streets. But like one of the other tour guys in front was doing the same thing. So like we just kind of hauled ass through stuff. And then when we got out to the country, it was just, you know, little towns with 15 people living in them. And we went from 2,000 feet up to 15,000 feet. And then turned back around and came back down. We were in the Himalayan mountains, so it was super cool. It was a really good, like, you know, if anybody else is listening, you know, to the podcast with Beer, like, he's a great dude, super humble, gave us everything, gave us all the little spots. Like, they tried making it as homey as possible. I'm really excited to go back, honestly, on one of my next trips.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Now, Evan, there's a shoot for you.
Oh, hell yeah. That'd be awesome.
I mean, not very good scenery like in the Himalayas, though.
Right.
Terrible.
Well, of course, I'd want to be riding it too, so.
That's true, too.
Yeah, you could be riding it and Taylor could be filming it.
That's a great idea.
Backpack, backstrap, everybody.
That's right.
Well, that's awesome. I had no idea that you guys were connected like that, because when Veer was talking, he was talking about Scott and the guys from Sideburn, and then as soon as you started mentioning that, I'm like, what?
Yep.
That's kick-ass. How do you get invited to do that? You just say you're interested in it?
Man, I feel like it was more along the line is that, like, you know, things happen to people because they pursue it, and, you know, you manifest whatever your mind is producing. So at a certain point, like, I've been trying to get over there, and I had another deal with a group that there was this Helmet Stories, and they do tours, but they also do helmets, and they were giving away helmets to kids and to people in general over in India because, like, you know, 20% of the population wears helmets, so they're trying to donate them. And there was something where I was maybe going to get to go over, and it just didn't happen, you know. And then 4 months later, this thing kind of sparked up. I like mentioned something to Gary at Cyber and like, hey man, what about like, is there an event I can come help out with? Like, how can I come over? And he's like, well, we have this event in Nepal. You want to come with? We got an extra spot. I'm like, yeah, fucking great. Like, that's exactly what I want. And so Gary's one of my sponsors, so we worked out a deal, and it just kind of happened, you know. I didn't expect it. Even like whenever I got my passport like 3 days before I was supposed to leave, and then got to Chicago, and they said I didn't have the right passports to get to India, but I had a bypass, so I had to like try 3 times at the Chicago airport to go up to different people and try to get in, and they let me in. And then I got stuck in India for like 6 hours going through stuff. It was crazy. I didn't think I was gonna make it. It was like a 36-hour travel, and then like I was like, you know, 2 hours from landing over there, and I was like, this isn't happening. It's not gonna work.
Holy
I'm gonna
shit.
get back home, but it all worked out. It was really cool. So I don't know. I've been brainstorming, trying to talk with Veer about setting up one and picking a group of people. You know, I think we had 10 or 12 people. So if I could get 10, 12 people want to go, I think it'd be great. I mean, go to another country, go have fun, enjoy it, and ride bikes. You know.
Hell yeah. All right, let's switch gears again, because Evan, you help me out here too, because I don't know about like racing sponsorship and teams. So I know that there's been some changes. So you guys help me out with you know, racing teams and Jeffrey, where you're at now.
Oh, well, things have definitely changed up with the sport. It's really interesting how things have been moving. The rate of money that gets spent to race with dirt track and to be a part of it, and it's still close. I mean, we getting paid a little bit more money, but the ratio of how much more money it's getting spent right now is crazy. And so it's kind of splitting dirt track a little bit, which I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing by any means. I think it's definitely good. I think the talent of the riders is really a lot thicker than it used to be. And so yeah, I'm kind of just right now this year, I kind of decided to not race all the races. So I had to kind of put together my own program. So I have a guy, Brian Bigelow, he's helping out. He's up in Michigan. He's won a couple Grand Nationals as a rider himself. And So he's helping me. We got a couple other people. My buddy James Monaco has a bike who got paralyzed at that Minnesota race you were watching.
Yeah.
He is like one of my biggest homies. And I think the reason why I decided to switch was because of not do as many races. Two big reasons was because of James and because of Oliver Brindley. They got hurt the last race. And they were my buddies. We'd pedal before and after races, have some drinks, hang out, camp, campfire, stuff like that. But the sport's just changing. It's moving in a big direction where it's kind of based around a MotoGP setup where the teams own the riders and the setups, and then the riders race for them, and then they have these, like our class is elite, and really the amount of riders that are in it is pretty elite. So for me, I'm kind of just doing a privateer deal, and what you would think that there's not really a chance to do that, which is interesting. And that's what I like, is that I can kind of promote that to other riders and let people know that, like, hey, you can do it. You don't have to have a $200,000 team to excel and get to that top level dirt track. And I feel like my position of where I'm at, that's what I'm kind of promoting.
So can you have your own team and then you have sponsors at the same time? Is that how that works? Or
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of teams are built around, there's a team name, and then you get a big title sponsor, and they pitch in a whole bunch of money for it. And right now, there's anywhere from $8,000 to $20,000 buy-in into the top class. And so I picked the cheapest. I did the $8,000 buy-in, which cuts me out of a couple races. But sponsors pay that and help to promote it and kind of get involved. And that's a good thing about dirt track, and with where the sport's going, is that we got television and stuff like that. So it gives these sponsors worth, for their time and their money and stuff. So it's just kind of getting out there and meeting people. For me, I like meeting people and having more of like a friendship vibe than it be like a business kind of set. I mean, it has to be a hand-to-hand deal. You both have to be benefiting from the situation. That's obvious, but I'd way rather have a personal thing. So I don't have a lot of big monies, but I have little bits here and there that people help me support it, and I pitch in the other 50%.
Wow, that's crazy. So Fast and Left will be one of your sponsors this year too, right?
Yeah, definitely. We kind of worked out some stuff. They're helping out. I'm trying to help. In my opinion, I figured once I watched this video at the beginning of last year, 6 months before, or like little cuts of it, I was like, I can't wait for this to come out. I was like, I want every person that's ever seen motorcycles, that's interested in motorcycles, to see this, because I feel like it's going to turn it around. And we're good friends. He helps with stuff. I help him with stuff. So we do that. So yeah, it's cool, and like I said, Gary from Cyber Magazine, Forever Two Wheels Company in Iowa, they're one of my sponsors. It's like them type of people I resonate better with, and we kind of go take this thing on all together. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be kind of more fun to have some more down-to-earth people, or them personally, other than have a big corporate sponsor where you don't have the personal connection.
I've had let's see all this shit here. I've had to cut all this off before even for non-corporate, and for corporate, I've seen that and just all kinds of different stuff. I just feel like everything's so cookie cutter at a certain point. Nothing against anybody that pursues their dream. My dream's a little bit different in flat track. So I've missed some big opportunities, and I've also turned down some big opportunities, and I'm okay with it. I kind of move forward. This is who I am. This is how we do it. We have fun, and it's kind of that old school style, even like motocross and stuff like that back in the 90s, and 80s. It was more fun, and that's kind of what I try and keep going. And that's the spirit of what Evan's got in this film. So we all kind of just try and tie, it's a network. That's how we help each other. That's the network.
Right. And Evan, why don't you help us out? Because somebody who did not listen to your podcast personally, why don't you, first of all, have you seen some big jumps? Do you get to see the numbers of, especially during this time? Man, everybody out there is posting, hey, watch Fast and Left, watch Fast and Left. Like, I've seen a ton of different sites that are like, check this movie out.
Yeah, the analytics, you can get really into it and see who's watching it based on what country and what days of the week, and whether I promote it or not. Sometimes it just kind of gets these mystery spikes that I don't know where it comes from. But yeah, people are watching it and sharing, and just like Honey Banana, you went through, like the guy on your podcast who had it on his watch list for that night, and it's like, Yeah, it's been cool, and definitely when I kind of like reminded people who was out there and they're staying at home, it got shared a lot more. And then we just did an online film fest with Kansas City, not a motorcycle film fest, but just a generic film fest. And that was pretty cool because some more people watched it, and and one of the goals that I had said early on was I wanted this to be a film for racers and non-racers alike, kind of just toe that line of equally being for both sides. So yeah, and that's the goal. Once more people start watching it that aren't involved in motorcycles, like get someone out to a track, or get someone maybe dad owned a bike way back when and thought, you know what, like maybe little Johnny could use a bike now, and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's been cool. People are sharing it and watching it at home, and I'm thinking about hitting that switch soon to make it free for everyone to watch, just so you know, if $3 holds someone back from watching a film, I get it. So we might make it free during all this debauchery to get more people to watch it and talk about it, and you know, get amped up for the upcoming season. So
right, with that, do you have to have like a deal with like Amazon or Amazon Prime or anything like that? Do you have to contract that you can't give it for free, or you can just decide and go?
No, it's all up to me. It's all up to me. I could just hit a switch. And also I think you can technically make it temporary. So let's say I make it free for 3 months and then turn it back on, or whatever happens. But a lot of that's really been put back into the hands of the producer, director. No, now it's a flip of a switch kind of thing. Pretty cool.
That's awesome. Well, if you decide to do that and you need any help, let us know, because we'll get everybody on board and we'll have a Fast and Left film festival.
Yeah, it could be fun.
Yeah, I can't watch it anymore though. I mean, I can only do so many views, you know. For
I watch it, and I still like, I watch it with people. I still see new things that I hadn't seen. Like seen it probably 10 times now or something. I feel like every time I watch it and see something a little bit different about the film, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's little hidden gems, you know, you catch with the crispness of the eye in the background and whatever, you know.
Yeah, and I agree. There's people that I didn't know who they were walking around in the background. And then now that I know who they are, it's like, well, shit. But I mean, you know, I walked into the sport as a complete noob, and I think it was I forgot where it was, but Kevin Atherton comes up to Jeffrey and like gives him a hug before a race, and I didn't know who that was the first time I shot it, and later on, like 2 years later, kind of reviewing the footage, I'm like, holy shit, that's Cupcake, former number 23, giving number 23 a hug, and it's like,
what was this?
I'll send it to you. I'm trying to think where it was.
Cool.
But yeah, I didn't know who that guy was, and Cupcake's a hero of mine. You know, like
he's a legend. He's a legend.
His name's really Cupcake?
Yeah.
What?
Cupcake.
Cupcake. You know why his name's Cupcake?
Nope.
Well, so he's like, so Atherton was.
Is this the Bunny Ranch story?
Yeah, this is good.
Okay.
He was factory Harley, so he raced with Jay Springsteen, Scotty Parker, two of the biggest legends, top 5 legends in the sport. Atherton right there in the tail end of it, and he's getting drug around, 16 years old, factory rider kid, you know, making a salary, all this stuff. So there's a ranch outside of Reno, Ohio, and it's what is it called? Mustang Ranch is what it's called.
I've never heard of anything like that.
Mile marker 23. So.
Oh, really?
Mile marker 23 to get to the exit. So they go there, whatever, and I guess supposedly, you know, it's just like one of them woo-ha, you know, clubs, you know, and you get to pick out your girls and shit. And supposedly the girls call him. He was young, one of the groups. They called him Cupcake, and I guess it started from maybe one of the, you know, young ladies that was, you know, a young entrepreneur. Who knows? But
yes,
the you know, name came from her, and that has stuck. I mean.
If you say Cupcake to any flat track fan, they know who you're talking about.
They know exactly who you're talking about. 100%. He's cool. I like Cupcake. I learned a lot of good tricks from him. I learned what to do and what not to do.
Now, if I try to tag Cupcake in this podcast, tell me his Instagram is Cupcake.
He doesn't have one. He's old school,
What?
man. He's old school. He's right now he's on a golf course or he's fishing down in Florida somewhere in the bayou.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so national numbers, Jeffrey could explain this better than I can, but I mean, there can only be one national number 23 at a time, and that goes with, of course, any number. And so it's kind of a ceremonious transition if someone gives you permission to use their number and hands it down. So yeah, Cupcake. How did that work with you?
Yeah, I won the championship in 2010 in the pro singles class, and if you win it, so that's like winning it's like winning college football for anybody that doesn't know flat track that well. It's like college football, and then I'm college football. I won that, and then one of the major teams gave me that position. That coach gave me the position of the Rams, and that's really kind of how it is. I mean, there's with certain numbers, there's some real old school hidden stuff that if you weren't a long school dirt track fan, you wouldn't get it. But it's the heritage and what the national number stuff means is huge. And for me, honestly, it's huge because my dad and my grandpa both were national number racers. Or not sorry. They were both 23. They were both 23s back in the day. So for me to get the grand national number, there we go. For me to get it, when I heard Cupcake retired, timing was everything.
Wow. Hey, hold that up real quick, Evan, again, and say something so I could take a picture of this. So I got my little promo thing here. Say something so you can go on my screen.
Who, me?
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for the photo op. That's really cool. That's really cool. Okay, so now you have number 23 until you decide to pass it to somebody else.
Yep, pretty much, or until I decide to not file for my number for 2 years and then somebody else can get it. So, but people buy numbers. I've heard of people buying numbers from people and selling them and stuff, because they mean a lot, to have that. Is that buddy?
What? You mean buying plates or like buying the number from?
Buying the number.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So Shayna used to be 25. And the reason why she's 52 now is because she wasn't able to get it. She wasn't able to get 25. Someone else had it, and they wouldn't sell it to her.
The plot thickens. These are the new things that just you only learn by talking to pro racers.
That's right. You can't. I have a feeling I know where Jeffrey's going.
I think your dog's sick, man.
Yeah, I know. He's a little red in the. I think he might have a fever though. Could be could have the Rona. I'm not sure. I got to find out. Now you guys are down there. You're probably what are you? Cardinals fans and Royals fans or what?
Man,
You're not a baseball guy?
I only watch motorcycle sports.
You don't watch any.
Well, I watch the Chiefs win.
Oh, that's true.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey, are you a baseball fan?
Talking about where they kick the ball around in a circle?
Yeah, where they shoot a three-pointer right through the field goals right at halftime, then the guy swings at it.
Exactly.
See?
No,
I knew you guys.
I'm a Cardinals fan. I mean, it's right here next to St. Louis, so I mean, I'm 40 minutes from it. I get over here. They got a dead night. I like to go do that. It's whatever.
Yeah, so what kind of music are you listening to? I can't tell that you would like the Dead from any of the decor around your home there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is my girl's place. It's freaking, she's got it set up nice, but yeah, I mean, I love the Grateful Dead. I love jam band stuff. I love freaking conscious music. I don't know, it's... Okay,
so I have to ask you because now, look at, you got all kinds of Carver stuff over there. What the heck?
Yeah.
Hey, I need a Carver T-shirt. You got something I can order on there? I wear my Fast and Left one day. I wear my Carver the next day.
Yep. So here soon, I linked up with that Big Cartel website, and I'm trying to set up the layout right now for online website. But yeah, should pretty soon. Pretty much, I got to figure out how to do my the mailing and weighing, so I can go ahead and do my labels right from home and just go drop them in the mailbox. So
I can teach you how to do that.
Perfect.
Super
See?
easy.
Perfect.
See, that's good. See, I get everything drop shipped because I used to sell T-shirts for Craig Rodsmith, and then it got too busy. International T-shirts was like a nightmare, a nightmare. So now we just had to
Yeah,
print it off of.
I just turned off the international option. I told people like, sorry, I'm not going to deal with it.
Yeah.
Which
Well, if
sucks,
everyone
but makes
sell-
life easier.
Yeah, I've been doing this, selling them internationally through a company called Teespring, and they print them out of the UK and they print them out of the United States. So if somebody opts to buy one in wherever, Australia, it ships from a UK place, but if you opt to buy them in the United States, it ships from here.
That's
And
nice.
you don't have to do anything. I'm sure profit margins are lower, but you just turn it on and just go with it. You don't have to worry about anything. But Big Cartel is supposed to, a lot of the motorcycle guys I see are using Big Cartel.
Are they?
Yep. I just saw
I'd seen it around, and like, you know, you can pay the $10 up front, or you can view it for free. So that's what's nice is literally I could open it, start it right now, and use it for free, up to like 5 things,
Right.
but limited options. But for I just like I know right now because I don't know when we're gonna go back to racing. I haven't made any money since October realistically. So for me, it's like I got to figure out something. So.
Yeah.
It's a good time for me to do that for my friends and family and, you know, fans and stuff. And also now I got some downtime to kind of get that stuff organized.
Yeah. Well, if you guys need any information on the stuff I'm doing, because I just send it out, and we sell T-shirts for all kinds of different people, and I never touch it. You just go in, and when you want to cash out, you just hit the button, and they deposit in your account.
Pretty sweet.
Hands off. Because I got nothing going on over here except for podcasts and 17 kids. Yeah. And you guys are all kid-free. Everybody
for that, right?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
You know they make something for that, right?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Process.
It's a little too late now. Too many trips to the bunny ranch for me. Yeah, so we got Cupcake, and this asshole right here, to my right, Mr. Evan and his lovely bride, he's trying to get this honey banana thing to stick.
Yep, honey banana.
I'm going to make a T-shirt and send you a honey banana. I'm going to send one to Jeffrey, too.
Jeffrey, do you know what honey banana is?
It sounds really sexual. That's.
Well, I don't know what a honey banana is, but I've seen a bunny in a banana costume before.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. All my sugar mamas call me Honey Banana.
They should.
Let's just say it's a flavor of relaxing medication that I purchased in. I may or may not have purchased in Portland with Evan and his lovely bride, Taylor Slow. Yeah, and for some reason, Honey Banana was a theme for our romantic weekend or whatever we had in Portland. And we did eat cock and balls together.
Yeah.
Well, I did. I did. Yes, I'll send a picture of that too. See?
A penis-shaped donut.
Yes, cream filled.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was an exciting process. Yeah, that was we've all had some pretty good weekends hanging out. We just needed Jeffrey there in Portland. That would have been. I think they called it
I almost came up there to do that race and stuff. It just my buddy lived down in LA. It was like a 12-hour drive, and wasn't sure about them moving the location. Sometimes new tracks blowing up real quick turn into kind of like what it did. But I don't know. It's just a lot of extra. I've done it before. It's a good fun time, you know.
Yes.
Try to make business decisions, I guess, is what they call it.
All right, how many broken bones have you had from racing?
I broke my back in 2 places in 2010. I've broken my wrist, my arm, on my right side. I broke my left thumb, broke my left ankle.
Wow.
Yep. And then I broke my jaw on a skateboard and my right ankle on a skateboard.
So how does a man like you apply for health insurance? That's what I want to find out. Denied, denied, denied.
We just won't talk about that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's not a racers council to help get insurance for anybody, is there?
No, not really. I mean, it's, you just got to do your thing, and I don't really know. It's kind of like the black market. Motorcycle racers and insurance, you know what I mean? It doesn't really make much sense for either, for the one side of the party. For us, it sounds great. For them, it doesn't sound like they get a benefit. But we
No,
stroll on, I just try and keep my shit straight.
that's true. It doesn't sound like you're the one that you need to worry about. That seems like a what did I just read something that flat track, like a good flat track race is like a good street fight.
You read that all of my thing. I posted that.
Oh,
I
did
said,
you?
I think so. I wasn't a street fight. I said a cage fight, but I was talking about a battle with Henry Walls at this half mile, or at Lima half mile, and it was rowdy. Like, I don't know, like my heart rate spikes. Like I get my heart rate up to like 200, and if anybody knows monitoring heart rate, like my resting heart rate's like 45. But like if we get after it, and there's sometimes it's like some shit gets really close. Like it's like one of them things like you're good enough to break somebody's neck, but you don't do it because you just don't do it. You know what I mean? And that's like cage fighting. There's guys that are good enough. If they hit the right spot, they'll blow a knee out or something like that. Realistically, dirt track racing can be the same way. We get so close to bluffing each other out, trying to do like if you've ever watched sprint car racing, you watch a guy slide from the bottom of the track to the top of the track to block the other guy. Like that's the shit we do. And that race specifically in that video you saw there, that's what it is. It's like me and him were going at it, and it was like we were on our toes and we were fucking getting after it. It was great. That's what I love about dirt track, and like to have them little, fights throughout the year with people that I trust and that you build companionship with. And it's a lot of people even compare it to fucking golf or dancing or something. There's just something kind of different about it. I love it.
What year was that with Wiles?
That was last year, but me and Wall's been going at it for a long time.
Right. And they
a couple times.
I was there, Lima 2019.
Yeah, so it was it would have been the heat race or the semi, and Jared was in it too, and I came from like 6th to the front, and I put a really pretty extreme slide job on Walls that like if he wouldn't have lifted, we probably both wouldn't have ended up in the fucking chain link fence over the top of it, motorcycle split apart. But
yeah, Lima 19 was called like one of the best races of the decade by a few people.
And that's how I've seen some, and like watching it and just the way riding it and being a part of it was just amazing. And for people out there listening and shit, like honestly, Springfield and Lima, them are the two to go to. You go to the two, like Lima's the biggest action shows. Springfield's could be known as even, obviously bigger than that, but something about Lima is just like, it's rough, slick. It's like being in the back of your, like, you're like a local grocery store rock parking lot sliding around, but you're doing it at 80, 90 miles an hour, and you got 10 other dudes that are the most badass dudes in the world doing it. It just gets rowdy. I usually come home bruised like somebody shot a paintball gun at me all year.
Wow. Okay, so here's my question too. So obviously these guys probably are your buddies and stuff, right? But when you get on the track, is it like fucking gloves off? Still respect, but you guys go at it hardcore?
We're buddies, a lot of us, yeah. I mean, everybody's pretty good in the dirt track community. Some of the younger kids sometimes make decisions or do things that we don't understand how it happens. I've done it. My rookie stuff, I've done it and shit. But
battery.
Yeah, I don't know. It just gets wild sometimes.
Wow.
But the guys are good. Everybody, like I said, at our level, we've been doing it for long enough. We're not trying to get to the NFL. We're in it. And like they say that they say NFL players, they kind of slack back. Well, we're not getting paid $2 million, but we get up there and we learn respect for each other. And I think that's what I love about racing in the elite class, is that you're racing with the best guys in the world. So I'll go risk my life, but risk it with some of the best guys out there. And that's why I'm okay with doing it, I guess.
Yeah. So elite, there's nowhere to. You're in the highest tier. Then is the
Yeah,
elite the highest tier?
there's not a higher class, or there's not another form of dirt track that's any higher than American flat track in the States. There's nobody overseas or anything like that. There's some good riders that come over here, but they're like select few. You know what I mean? They're like the prized possessions over there. Everything's right here.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, how does dirt track transfer over to like overseas? Is this a big United States thing, or is it
Oh yeah,
all over the
yeah.
world?
Well, it's all over the world for sure, and because of the film, I've been able to see that, and Jeffrey knows about that too. He's got kind of a collaboration with the real intellectuals from Greece. Like, there's people all over that love dirt track, and Valentino Rossi, the most famous motorcycle rider of all time, probably. He's big in the flat track. So there's pockets everywhere, but it originated in America and has its biggest presence in America. And Jeffrey would know more about, like, I mean, the countries that watch. I think there's more people in Asia that watch American flat track than people in America right now. Like, it's a huge.
That's interesting. Like, I've seen that on like polls or whatever, like a demographics for like Facebook.
Yeah.
There is a grow over there, but I don't see much out there that we see for whatever reason. That like of them over there racing. But I know what you're saying. Most of it seems like it's coming from over there. But there's a lot in the UK. UK would be really big. Australia, it's pretty big. They do a good job over there. And then down in Brazil, they just started stuff. And me and Evan talked about going down there. We met some people about going down and being a part of some of their events down in Brazil. We're trying to get steel shoes there because they don't really have steel shoes, but they dirt track. And then you get pretty decently large groups of people to come watch it. So what's pretty cool is that it's spreading, and if you can get the knowledge out there. The interesting thing about, dirt track, it's kind of like voodoo magic. Like, unless you know somebody that knows something about it, you don't know what's going on. You're just, you're in the wind. So it's cool to see what's changing, and I want to help grow that in the world realistically.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, that's funny because a lot of racing things and things, go over, different countries, but it seems like this American, dirt track, flat track. So what's the difference between dirt track and flat track? Is it synonymous for the same thing?
I think it's probably like you all and y'all. It's the same thing.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
It's from what part of the US you're from.
If you said dirt track to most people, they'd probably assume you meant cars.
Okay.
Flat track, there are flat tracks in car racing, but it's not used as a term. Flat track is kind of a more specific term, but dirt track, it's exactly the same thing. It's almost like whiskey and bourbon. All bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon, kind of thing.
God, you're so intelligent, Evan. See,
so it's just
I appreciate more about you every day.
Well, I've said this before, but one thing that I found with flat track is you either know nothing about it or you know everything about it. Those are that's a broadening of the term, but most people would either be like, oh, I've never heard of that, or, oh, well, my grandpa was, raced this bike for this many decades and he was from this area and you'd know that name. So just kind of like one of those things. But yeah, flat track, dirt track.
Okay, so I was watching another YouTube video, and Jeffrey, you're kind of doing a walk of the track. I forget where it was at, but so the flat track that I saw is fast and left, obviously. But then you were out on some other track where there's jumps and different things going on. Is that a different style of race?
Yeah, so that's TTs, and really technically it means trial trophy. So trial trophy race. So it's like it's more of like, what'd you call that? I don't really know the wording exactly. It's more like grass track or like more like free open style racing where like you would set up a field and you'd set up a little track in it and race it, and that's kind of like what TT racing is. And that's one form of American flat track circus. We have TT races. We have short tracks, which are all under a 3/8 mile. And then we have half miles. And then we have miles. So a lot of times they have one right-hander and a jump in them as well.
Gotcha. So the races that they put out, like the what is it, the Minnesota one, the mile tracks, are those actually?
Yeah.
So that's Minnesota. I forget what the other. Those must be super crazy.
There's Sacramento Mile, there's New Jersey Mile, Springfield Mile, Kentucky Mile. There's another probably 4 or 5 week race, but not last year.
Gotcha. So how fast do you get going on the straightaways there?
Springfield's like I've heard like up to like 140, and I've seen it on tacks really close to that. Top speed getting in the corner. That's the fastest.
And then in the corner, still about 90.
Yeah.
That's
insane. I went from so at the first season, I probably shot 2 or 3 races at Jeeps, which is 1/8 of a mile. It's tiny. So I had only shot at Jeeps, and then the first AFT race I shot was on a mile. Yeah. And so seeing the difference of 1/8 versus 1 mile, I mean, at the start when they roar past, I was at turn 1, they roar past, and I'm stuck at turn 1 because it's a big task to, go to the other turns. You just kind of park it. The noise stops. Like, you don't hear bikes anymore. It's, it's a long ways away. And then when they come back, you feel it in your bones. Like, it's a humongous track, and you can't see it all in one spot like you can a 1/8 mile. So if you're at the top of the grandstands, you kind of get this like this overview of everything. But yeah, and the first time we went to Springfield, we went up under you go kind of under this tunnel into the inner pit, and like a buddy said to me, he's like, "Where's the track?" And I'm like, "Oh man, it's everywhere. It's all around us." Like, he had only seen Jeeps as well. Like, it's a huge difference. And the same goes for, the racing and the style of it. And it's pretty crazy.
It's kind of like old school, what you see like gladiators in the arena, and everybody goes to see them. It's kind of like motocross, same style thing in any elite sport, but to see it on that type of a level, and then you grew up like, let's say Jeeps as kids playing outside with sticks, like playing with swords and shit, and then our levels like gladiator stuff, which is pretty interesting. So I know for you, Evan, to see all that shit and to go from one extreme to the other, especially a mile track, like people go there, and we always tell people, go down, stand next to that corner, getting into one, you'll get a good feel for it. Like, you see that, you get it. Like the mind kind of deceives what you see on a mile sometimes, because it's just like we're so used to seeing so many not real things in life and on Netflix and shit like that. But you go watch a mile racetrack, and you watch a guys on dirt touching each other, getting in a corner at 140 miles an hour and getting through. It's pretty amazing. I mean, even I love sitting in the grandstands, honestly, and watching it too, especially the big mile tracks. It's something different. It's, it's an adrenaline rush that you don't get anywhere else, really. It's the most natural high, I tell people.
That's insanity. Evan, we did this on yours, and I know I haven't gotten a bunch, except for we have Jeffrey right here. Jeffrey, I want to know some people that you would like for me to get on the show. If there's anybody that you inspired you, or anybody that you'd really like to hear kind of their story.
So what's your mark, or what's the group of people you usually been going with lately?
Man, I've changed a lot of things around. So in the beginning, a lot of my immediate friends when I first started were motorcycle guys, custom builders, things like that. So then we branched out to some chopper stuff. Talked to Evan about some film stuff. We have artists. We have you talking about flat track. So anything in the motorcycle community. I feel like there's such a good rapport between everybody. So it's nice to. I'm after all of it, because I think the love for two wheels, spans through a lot of different categories.
So I got a buddy that does. His name's Chris Wiggins. He does. We call him Hooligan Jesus, but he runs the Super Hooligans Instagram page.
Okay.
You can find him. Wiggins, I think it's Wiggins09 is what his Instagram name is. But he's a really good guy. You can tell him that I sent you.
Yeah.
If you can't find it, ask me and I'll send you this link. But he's a good guy. He was, from my understanding, talking with a decent amount of hooligan guys and with him, he was the first guy that kind of helped promote and push the hooligan racing thing. Like the hooligan racing, bike building scene, because that's the thing about dirt track and bike building, hooligan racing, is that we're really all tied together, and a lot of it's kind of cut apart, you know, because you have this racing mindset people, and then you get this, you know, building free life, you know, blue collar guys, and things kind of can be a little different. But what hooligan racing has done, it's kind of combined everything. And you know, I was building house built bikes, dirt track bikes, and 15, 16, 17, 18, just like the chopper guys were. So hooligan racing is the same thing, but it started just within 5 years ago, and the rate that it's grown has been more than most of any other sport I've ever seen, which is pretty interesting, you know. And Chris is a good guy. He's got a good information. He's a Cali boy, and he can kind of help that train kind of keep going for you.
Nice. Anybody else you can think of?
There's a couple guys. I'll send you some of their messages or whatever, you know, their links. But honestly, for this, I think he would be a good guy for it.
Okay. No, that's super cool. All right. So, Evan, you're going to do something new for us. I know last time we talked, I know you have a sneaky project that you're going to be working on. You still got hopes to keep that up?
Nope.
No?
No, maybe 2020. We'll see. Or Taylor and I jokingly, we've all agreed that we're going to start calling 2021 2020 Part 2. So maybe in 2020 Part 2.
Okay.
Sounds like a good idea. I like the sound of that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's actually a good name, because what the fuck else is anybody doing in 2020?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody else is getting anything else done either.
I mean, one of my go-to, you know, kind of my what's up is what's new, you know, hey, what's new? And, you know, I mean it, like, hey, talking about what's new. And I kind of quit asking that because not much new.
It's a different life.
You know, which, you know, yeah, and it changes the way you live. And, you know, we're definitely going to be we have one of those Sunday 200cc bikes. We're going to be taking that to the track more. And if it's just Taylor and me or a couple friends, just, I don't know, finding time to do new stuff. So, I mean, hell, I just hooked up my old DV tape, and I'm going through some of the first films I ever shot back in 2000, I suppose. So just, you know, and that's one of those things you wouldn't do unless you had a broken leg or were stuck at home, and we're all stuck at home with legs that work. So, you know, finding new stuff to do. But no, I'm excited to get some gas and dirt in the air again, though.
Nice. Oh, you know what I forgot to ask you too, Evan? We never talked about. So I want to. I know that we were sitting at a bar in, I was going to say Cleveland, but I haven't been to Cleveland. In Portland.
I love Cleveland, by the way. I could talk about Cleveland for a long time. Yeah.
You know what? We did talk about Cleveland when we were chatting. I want to know the other two movies. Well, the other, because I want to catch up with a couple new movies to watch. So obviously,
my
everybody
movies,
listens.
My movies, or
yeah.
Okay, so Blind Guy.
Yes, Blind Guy.
That's the one.
Blind Guy is that's kind of the fan favorite. And I caught up with.
Okay, where can I watch Blind Guy first, and then
you can watch it on Amazon now. If you go to Fast and Left and look at like more films by the director, you can find it.
What's one of the other ones you got? I'm trying to think of what the name of one of the other ones is.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I should probably promote those. Give people something to watch while they're. I'll do that, but I'll put those up on my Instagram today.
The Nun Story.
Oh yeah, the Nun Story. That's good too.
The Nun Story.
That's a good hidden gem, man.
Yeah. So watch that.
The nun, like a nun, like nun. Like I'm a priest.
Story.
She's a nun.
Oh, wait. Oh.
Yeah, so that's a story by Bull Taco Bill from the film. Who also, I got this in the mail the other day. I don't remember. Bill gave me his Kin Maley steel shoe.
Did he really?
Yeah. William A. Snyder.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's the Nun Stories by Bull Taco Bill Snyder. And then Jazzbo, the one-man band, and
yeah.
Ace the Gas Station Cowboy are my other films.
Yep. Yeah, I've watched all them.
Okay, so these are all under. If I go to Amazon, it'll show me the other ones underneath there?
Yeah, if there's a button to...
no, there's Vimeo, right?
Yeah, Vimeo is the easiest way. Vimeo is kind of just like a curated YouTube. So if you go there, you'll see all my films. Or my website. They're all up on the front page, so...
Nice. Well, I think everybody should check those out because there's some, not if anybody has any free time right now. If you don't have any free time, put it off till later.
Well, that's really like what first attracted me about flat track. The first time I went out there, I didn't have a camera, I didn't have a goal in mind, but I just saw these crazy characters and community, and all my previous films were very singular character driven, and this was a community with 80 characters all in the same place. So, yeah, that's what makes the sport so damn fun.
Yeah, hold on a second here. Sorry, you guys didn't hear that music playing, did you?
No.
Okay, good. All right, so what we're taking out of the show today is Jeffrey Carver's not doing anything right now, but but check out those YouTube.
Chill.
He's super chill, man. And what we learned about,
buddy, I'm enjoying it and I'm loving it.
It's good. I like it. And we learned about Cupcake and Blind Guys and the Nun Story and Honey Banana, and it's been a full day.
Yeah, this is the most I've worked in a while.
You call this working, Evan?
Yeah, this is working now.
This is under promotion and research and development is what I'm putting this on my time card today.
Well, and I'm going to invoice you, of course.
That's what I was saying. When I'm going to file for unemployment, I know where to send it to.
Yes, send it right over. If you don't hear anything back, it's probably just going through a process. Oh, my God.
Where you still got some of them at, dude? You can throw them down.
No, this is...
It's on the shelf.
That's got Springfield dirt in it.
Hey, there you go. There's some stuff to have in there, that's for sure.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you guys so much. This is fun. This is
cool.
super fun.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Yeah, I'm going to try. And then, Jeffrey, I'm going to get in touch with Chris Wiggins. That should be fun.
I think so.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
He knows a lot of different people in the industry.
Cool.
He'll give you his opinion, I'll tell you
that. Which is a good thing, I guess, huh?
No doubt. That's what we're here to get,
That's right.
Everybody's got their own opinion. We're all trying to hear everybody else's, realistically.
Exactly. No, and that's good. So it gives everybody something to do. So, gentlemen, I'll see you guys soon. I raise a glass to you.
See you in Springfield.
Yeah, I'll be there. Thank you, guys. And
Yeah.
I'll be posting stuff. I'll send you guys some links.
All right, dude. Thank you.
All right. Behave, everybody.
Party
Take
on.
care. All right.
Yeah.
See ya.